All right, win number one is in the books for the Georgia Bulldogs to kick off the 2025 season. The Dogs beat Marshall 45-7 in a game that they basically dominated from the very start. A game that we kind of expected to go exactly like this. We told y'all earlier this week that this was going to be a game that Georgia wanted to establish the run. They did that early and play good defense, and that's exactly what we got. 45-7. Again, the Dogs ran for over 200 yards and a really good day for the defense. We're going to talk all about that. Gunnar Stockton's 4 touchdowns. We're going to dig into it, but first I want to make sure y'all are reading the story we have on Dawg Post, Thoughts from the Box, a breakdown of what I just saw out here today in Sanford Stadium. It's over on Dawg Post, so make sure you're reading that. And we have a great deal for y'all right now. You can sign up to Dawg Post today for $1 until the Alabama game. So you can get the rest of September basically for $1. So make sure you're signing up to Dawg Post because the season is obviously here. This team has a chance to be really, really good. This is not a perfect game. I think defensively, as well as they played, they still could maybe tackle better here and there. Offensively, it wasn't great in the passing game for a while. They did find a way to make some explosives down the field. Zachariah Branch had a long 47-yard touchdown pass, but Gunnar Stockton overall through the air, 14 for 24, 190 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He ran for 2 scores in the first half. This is a very, read option heavy offense today, allowing Gunnar Stockton to make the right reads, dissect what the defense gives him, and take it. He was safe with the football. He was efficient with the football. 0 turnovers. Again, 2 touchdowns with his legs, 2 through the air. So I thought it was a really good day for Gunnar, even though they didn't have a ton of explosive plays and the passing attack wasn't up and down the field. But that was purposeful. They didn't need to throw the football. They didn't need to attack Marshall through the air. They started the game running the football, and they ended it running the football. They rushed 44 times for 239 yards, 3 touchdowns. They averaged 5.4 yards a carry. There was a time in this game where they had to really earn all of these yards. It didn't feel like a lot of it came easy. They still had to work for everything, but occasionally they would break off a solid run or two. They got the scoring started with Dwight Phillips Jr., who I thought had a really good day. He had 5 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. I believe it was a sweep that was blocked to perfection that got him in the end zone. There was a speed sweep. I think that was the 4th down. It was 4th and short. Gunnar Stockton faked out like 3 Marshall defenders and got up the field for a first down. I'm trying to remember if he scored on that play or another, but he had an 11-yard touchdown run. He had a 13-yard touchdown run. I thought he managed the game really well. I thought he played well. I thought he was accurate at times, but make no mistake, there were a lot of people that didn't think he was a real dual-threat quarterback. We saw that a lot this offseason from a lot of people saying he's going to have some trouble making plays with his legs. That was real. That was a narrative out there, and I'm not saying he completely crushed that, but he did run for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was the leading rusher today, and you're going to see a lot of that. And I do think that Mike Bobo is going to expand the playbook, especially when they go to Knoxville. I think next week is going to be very similar to what we saw today. Just a lot on the ground. Again, they ran the ball 44 times. They only threw it 32. So they wanted to stick it on the ground, and they said all offseason for 9 months, an emphasis was to run the football better, and they could still run it better. Again, 5.4 yards a carry, that can be improved upon, no doubt. And there were times where they're getting 1 yard, no yards, 2 yards. They punted 6 times today. So that's not great. So offensively, they could still get better. It was not a fun day offensively. It had fun moments. But this is basically, a read option game. Let Gunnar Stockton handle the run game, take off when he needs to, hand the ball off when he needs to. But they kept this bad boy on the ground because the entire point of this was to get a healthy, efficient game, get out of here injury-free. Now, Juan Gaston Jr., the freshman, I believe he started today. I know he started. It was at right guard. He went down, I think in the 2nd or 3rd series. I did not see him. I saw him deliver a massive block on the 2nd play of the game. Just bulldozed a Marshall linebacker. Poor guy got walloped. But yeah, they started the game high. They ran for a touchdown. It was a 3 and out from the defense to start the game. And you knew then, okay, these guys are ready to play. They were fast. I thought they played together as a cohesive unit. Raylan Wilson was all over the place. C.J. Allen I thought, had a really good day. It was a collective effort. Gabe Harris had a big tackle for loss early in the game. We saw a lot of freshmen. Now, the backups did give up 2 big passing plays and let Marshall into the end zone late in the game. The game was obviously over. But, again, over on Dawg Post, and you can read this every week. We give our picks. We explain what we think is going to happen, and that's exactly what happened today. A lot of run game, really strong defense, and I said the final score was going to be 48-7. I was 3 points short. It was 45-7. They did not cover that 38.5-point line, even though it felt like they were going to the entire game. They were up 24-0 at the half. Yeah, it is. I mean, they owned the game. They played well. Could have played better. I think it's tough to, say what the weakness was defensively. Again, I think they could probably tackle a little better, and the backups aren't going to play in every game. They got in there late in the game and gave up a long touchdown pass, or 2 big passing plays and then a touchdown later. So that's stuff that those guys are going to learn from. But if the first team was out there all game, this is looking like a big shutout, 45-0. But again, next week, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot different. They're going to run the ball early. They're going to run it often, try to establish that run game, and play sound defense. And I think we're going to have a very similar type of score with an occasional explosive player too. But overall, if you look at the landscape and what's happened in college football today, a lot of quarterbacks are really struggling. And I know it was just Marshall, right? It was just the Thundering Herd. But I thought Gunnar Stockton played well. I think he threw 2 passes, maybe 25 yards down the field. I'm not sure he connected with either one, but it was solid. It was a solid, safe, efficient day for Georgia's quarterback, and that's exactly what you expect from him, to lead the offense. I thought he led the offense correctly. He did what he needed to do. He made plays when he could with his legs, but he still showed some zip on the ball as well. We saw Ryan Puglisi come in. He had his first career touchdown pass to Elias Williams, the freshman tight end. I thought he moved well. He showed some mobility, so that was nice. As far as the receivers go, Zachariah Branch led the team there. 3 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. 89 yards after catch, and that includes the explosive 47-yarder down the sideline. I mean, this guy showed that natural speed and explosiveness on that play for sure. So they're going to get him more involved. Oscar had a couple catches. London Humphreys had 3 catches for 8 yards and 1 touchdown. Gunnar Stockton kind of looked off at the safety there. I think that was on a 4th down too. There were several 4th downs where they went for it. So it wasn't like they absolutely carved him up and down the field. They still had to convert several 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, but on that particular play, kind of looked off a couple defenders. They went one way. He turned back to the middle of the field and found London Humphreys in the back of the end zone. I hope you can hear me. But beautiful day out here, and I thought this was exactly the type of game that, everyone should have expected. I did not think they were going to light it up through the air. They wanted to get that ground game running. That was an emphasis. And against a team like Marshall, where you're coming into the game and you're expecting to impose your will and, win the game in the trenches and be physical there, I thought they did. And again, it could improve. I thought the pass protection could improve a little bit. The passing attack needs to be better overall. They're not going to be able to do this to everyone they play. I think they're going to be in a real tough situation up in Knoxville. Tennessee looks a little better than I thought. Auburn looks a little better than I thought. I thought both those quarterbacks played better than I expected them to. So Gunnar Stockton is going to have to continue to play safe, efficient, winning football, just like he did out here today. So again, it was just Marshall, 45-7. Could have been more. The defense could tackle a little better. The passing game could improve. The protection could improve. The running game could still get better. Again, you rush for 240 yards, 5.5 a carry. It's tough to really complain about that, and I think they're going to have a different type of running scheme too. I mean, this was very basic. It was very vanilla, and if you're mad at Mike Bobo, I don't know what you were expecting, because that should have been it, right? A lot of just basic vanilla run game and scheme, and they didn't really do much, and they still had no problem scoring. Again, it was 24-0 at the half. and 45-7 total. They had a punt blocked. I think Cash Jones blocked the punt. So, special teams I thought was sound too. But overall, it's just a sound, quality win. And I think this is something that they can still improve on. This team has a chance to be really, really good. We're probably going to see something similar to this against Austin Peay, but the season really starts in 2 weeks. It's about cleaning some things up, and we'll see a lot more from this offense in terms of scheme and the game plan up in Knoxville, but it's going to be very vanilla and basic next week. Lots of running game, just play strong, efficient defense, and you're going to have a very similar score to this. But Georgia 45-7, they win over Marshall. They're 1-0 to start the season as expected, and I think this team, if they continue to get it together and if they can keep improving, has a chance to be really good. Thanks for watching, and again, you can read more about this and thoughts from the box over on dawgpost.com. Make sure you're taking advantage of that and the great deal we have. You can be a member for $1. Make sure you're checking that out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you over on the website.